Hello Virgos, how are you all doing? Welcome in to your monthly tarot reading. So we are doing a reading for May 2025. So we are moving through spring here in the northern hemisphere, the fall in the southern. How is this season treating you? We've definitely been through one of the hardest parts of the year, basically January through the end of April. It was a very intense beginning of the year. So we're kind of in a new energy now. You know, I feel like every month since, I don't know, even since last year, it was like, oh my God, this is an intense month. Oh, we're in another intense month, which has been true. May's kind of simmering down a little bit, so that we can be grateful for. And we are in Taurus season. That is the season of the bull. So I wanted to talk through, I started, was it last month or March? I'm trying to remember. I think it was last month. We started, I started a new thing for those monthly zodiacs of talking through the monthly themes and reflections. And for May, the themes are stability, self-worth, and money. Another word that I kind of channeled for this month that came through for everyone was the word luxury. And that kind of also aligns with Taurus, because Taurus, you know, it's an interesting sign. It's a very grounded sign. It's an earth sign. It likes stability. It is about, you know, again, self-worth, right? That's one of the themes. And Tauruses like to experience the finer things in life. They like to enjoy life. And so the term luxuries is something I want all of you to kind of sit on this month and kind of say, sorry if I can talk. What do I feel when I hear the word luxury or think of luxuries in general? What does that like mean to me? And that, you know, is going to come different for everyone. But that aligns with self-worth and money because, you know, what is your relationship with money? Do you feel like it's always a struggle? Do you often tell yourselves, oh, I can't afford that. I can't afford that. I can't afford this. Or, oh, you know, that's being, you know, if I spend money on that, that's, you know, wasting money. Are you someone who always hoards money? Like, I always have to save, and you're very, you know, strict with money. You don't spend money on yourself or spend money on what you would deem luxuries, okay? But this is a month, again, part of seeing your self-worth is really to your core believing that you are deserving of luxuries. You are deserving of money. You are deserving of abundance. Okay? You are deserving of ease in your life. So I think those are the, when you start to dig into those roots, you're going to start seeing belief systems that you've been programmed with if you're not aware of them. You may already be very conscious of those belief systems and doing some work to try and, you know, redefine, reprogram yourself. And all of that is going to really bring more stability into your life, which is another one of the themes. So I wanted to talk about those. Just a few more things. The full moon in Scorpio is on May 12th, so that's going to be a big one. Lots of depth, deep emotions. It's going to be a very transformative full moon. You know, the full moon is also about, hey, releasing. It's about what do I need to shed to bring in something new. It's kind of reaching the culmination of something. Again, a closure, an ending, to open up a new beginning with the new moon, which is in Gemini on May 26th. So I do feel like this Scorpio full moon is going to bring a lot of kind of culminations, a lot of closures for people. You're really going to get some clarity, especially emotionally, around things that just don't align with you anymore. So those are some big ones this month. So yeah, I think that kind of sums it up. We can get started with the reading. This is for Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Virgos. Also take a look at your Rising, Moon, and Venus sign readings as well. If anyone is interested in a private personal reading with me, I do have some openings left. So you can schedule something with me on my website, which is linked below in the description. All right, let's get started here with some Sacred Travelers Oracle from Denise Lynn. So, rejuvenating rain, clear the past, heal the present. There's that Scorpio full moon energy. That's water energy, which represents emotions. So I do feel like there's kind of emotional cleansing going on. There's something about something from the past that you haven't closed or repaired or healed or integrated yet, which is going to come up for you to do that. Traveling lightly, simplify your life. And I feel like this is referring to emotional baggage. So it's where you're at right now. For you to move forward on the path ahead, you need to kind of, there's stuff that your soul's just like, again, there's that divine timing of, I can't bring this forward anymore. And there's something heavy, I feel. This could be emotional baggage from the past. It could be a situation as well in your life that you've been dealing with. Mystic healer, healing energy flows through. So there's definitely healing in the air here for you, Virgos, in May. This is, all these three cards really to me refer to healing, refer to letting something go that you've still been carrying, that it's time to. It's May is time. This is a pinpoint of like, you've been carrying something heavy for a long time. It's not doing you any favors anymore. It's not helping you to grow or expand. It's really holding you back. And this is going to be the month to do that. All right, let's check the tarot here. So we have the Six of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles. In this deck, it's called the Six of Stars. So there's some rebalancing that needs to happen. I'm just picking up, you could be somebody that gives too much and has always been too much of a giver. And I feel like others maybe are trying to give to you, but you have a hard time receiving it because there's this belief system about you need to give, and there's that self-worth of like not being able to receive as much as you give. Seven of Wands, there's a lot of resistance here around this. I feel almost too something you're still carrying. You're really resisting letting it go. So this could be anger, resentment, betrayal from the past, belief systems, right? Like there's a part of you deep in your unconscious that really loves holding on to this actually, which is kind of, when you think of it, like, why would I want to hold on to anger? But it's almost like if you let go of the anger, then you're almost like letting go of the situation. And if someone did you wrong, you're like, well, then I'm kind of letting them pass. Strength card. This is going to take as much courage as it did to kind of get through that situation. King of Cups, High Priestess, Knight of Wands, and the King of Pentacles. And then we have the Ten of Swords. And I got to grab this, the World card. So yeah, we are closing up this chapter. And in some weird way, like I said, there's resistance to closing this chapter because if you really dig down to the depths of your, of these parts of yourself that are resisting this, I do feel like a part of you doesn't want to let go of this. And that's going to be different for some of you. You might consciously feel like, oh, I don't care, like I'm over it. But if you still are holding on to any sort of pain or anger, resentment towards somebody, that means that you haven't let go of it. And this could be tied to anything. It could be your past relationship. It could be a situation in your family. It could be something from childhood. But there's kind of a new transformation from an emotional standpoint that you're really being called to do, which Virgos, that's not really a territory that, from a Virgo standpoint I would say you're comfortable in, or that's not your area of expertise. You're a earth sign, right? Like, I always see Virgos as very opposite from like the water signs like Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. If anything, I would say maybe Virgos are closest to Cancers, but either way, like, I think you're transforming into this King of Cups and the High Priestess. So there's this integration of like leveling up from an emotional standpoint and seeing things from a new perspective and understanding and nurturing these emotions instead of just like holding on to anger. Like, it's almost like you're allowing yourself to grieve, you're allowing yourself to process. And in that, there's some healing, because then there's that spiritual kind of enlightenment. There's the spiritual knowledge that comes in with the High Priestess. And you just know, like, there's this knowingness of like, this has gotten too heavy for you, and you start to see like how heavy it is. This could also be affecting a current relationship you're in, or just you, it's affecting you in your current life. So you're really seeing this transformation from, because the Knight of Wands too, like, that's a very immature energy. So you could be dealing with reconciling past relationships or people in your life that were very immature. They were very selfish, and they kind of just were very impulsive and kind of took actions that they don't think of the impact on other people. But there's the King of Pentacles now. I mean, that's to me a huge transformation, going from a Knight of Wands to a King of Pentacles. So it's really referring to like this transformation, this leveling up, this maturing. This could just be that you're maturing, but also I feel like whatever happened in the past, like, you're in a new place in your life, and you have new people around you, or new people that are going to come in that are going to be much more mature. And I think that should prove to you as well that like, you have new levels of support and people around you, and it's okay to like, there's an ending of this chapter that needs to take place. There's an ending and new beginnings to a lot of pain that you went through, betrayal. It's just, all of this has to end. This, like, it's almost like you're continuously still living in that energy, and that needs to end. So you could have also, for a few of you, like, this could be a relationship from the past, but some of you, this could be like a loss, a very huge loss in your life in the past that really impacted you, that's created, you really pushed the grief down, the loss, the emotions around this. And it could go back to childhood for some of you here. So we have the Two of Swords, Temperance, and the Seven of Swords. So I feel like this is more really around deceiving yourself. I think you've been lying to yourself just in general. I think you've been kind of an escape artist, or like you use escapism as a form to cope and to like push all of this old stuff down. So to me, like, being escapism is like, you tend to like someone who stays busy all the time because they don't like to, you know, just sit and be quiet with themselves, because then you end up going into this depth, like the emotions come up. So I do feel like you're very blind to this. You're very blocked. I feel like whatever situation you went through, you immediately, as like a way of coping with this, like you created a part within yourself that really shut down your heart and closed yourself off, which really has blocked you from really opening yourself up to love, to life, and kind of also shutting yourself down to not allowing these emotions for you to really process them. But to process them then allows you to release them. And I still feel like there's a lot of these emotions that are really deep in the darkest, corners of your unconscious here. But this Temperance card, I do feel like there's divine energy right now and support that are helping you to bring some alchemy. Alchemy is really using energy to create balance. And I feel like that's what's happening with you right now. We have the Sun. Yeah, blocking yourself up from happiness and abundance here. The Devil. Yep, very karmic energy here, and the Queen of Wands. So this could refer to a very karmic relationship. But I also feel like just the karmic experiences in your life, it's like you see in this card, the two people here are chained to each other. They're like bound eternally, enslaved. So to me, that refers to karmic connections that we continuously come back around in, each life after life. And they're very challenging connections. And I feel like this is referring to that in this lifetime, that you've came back and had some very karmic dynamics and connections here that have really, like, you're still tied to that person or that energy, but it's been really holding you back. And there's something here about gaining yourself. The Queen of Wands she is the master of self-worth and confidence. And this has really affected your confidence. It really has affected how you show up in the world and show up in regards to connections. And that could have created that overgiving kind of mentality or a real lack of self-confidence. But I feel like that's shifting. I feel like your confidence is going to grow as you alchemize this and let go of whatever these emotions or situation was in the past. 5 of Swords. Yeah, this has really been doing a number on you mentally and emotionally. This could also refer to this connection that really messed you up. There was a lot of manipulation here. If it was a relationship, I do feel like potentially they really betrayed you. They could have lied to you about something. And they really did a number on you. The Emperor. Yes, this could also refer to like a father wound. So you could have this could be referring to like in childhood something with your father in a very karmic situation here. And this has kind of, again, did a number on you. Someone who really was this strong kind of dominant figure, male, more than likely here, but like either father or a husband or a relationship. This person was, even this could be also like you're a male who had a very difficult like spouse, and she was really like more of that male figure, was very controlling, kind of held the reins, but this person was really dominating. 10 of Wands. Yeah, this is just, so May is just a time for you to let go of this, release the baggage, release this heaviness, the emotions. It's time to cut the ties to this. And it's kind of like once and for all, because if you continue to carry all of these, negative emotions and you don't fully process this and kind of, again, cut the ties that bind you, you're going to, go into the next life and have to face this again, which I don't feel like you want to do anymore. You know, this is pretty black and white. I almost am like, I just want to see what's the resistance here. The Seven of Wands, Six of Pentacles, the Magician here, Nine of Stars. So I feel like this is just saying, like, you hold the power to this situation. Like, maybe you feel like they have the power over you, and because they did all of these things to you, that, you know, again, there's this, could be a victim mentality here, but like, you have the power, you're the magician, you have the ability to shift the energy and to change, and find the power with, this is really about inner power here, and finding your feeling good in who you are, finding some sort of like peace with the past, even though it was very difficult, doesn't mean you're accepting it. But it's more accepting of where you are right now and where you want to be in the future. And I just feel like you're in a stronger place in your life right now, and you just maybe don't see it. But you have the strength over the situation. This person doesn't have the strength over you anymore. And that could be also about just standing up for yourself and not allowing this to continue to be your story of, you know, maybe it just continues to be your story, right? Like, you still hold this as like almost like you're still in it, and it really isn't your story anymore. And if it's something that you maybe don't outwardly see as your story or talk about, like, I still feel like you're deceiving yourself, because really it's almost like this is still being held within you, and there's something that needs to be faced about the situation that happened to you. And it could be facing the ghost of the past, like facing the ghost of, if your father isn't around anymore, maybe there needs to be like like you connecting with the consciousness of that person that was your father, and really sorting through and integrating this situation from an energetic standpoint. It could even be that. All right, big healing, Virgos, in May, big time. So, but it's going to be great for you. I feel like this is something that's been heavy on you. All right, Virgos. Well, hope you enjoyed the reading. Hit that like button if you did. Share this with, you know, anyone you know that this resonates with. And don't forget to subscribe and stay connected. Otherwise, you guys have a great May. Have a good Mother's Day. What else is going on in May? Here in the States, it's Memorial Day at the end of the month. So we're kicking off a little bit of, you know, a string of holidays, if I can get that out. All right, I will see you in the next reading, Virgos. Bye for now.